selector. Rewind selector. Rewind selector. Rewind selector.
Welcome to the IPA Champions Cup, live on Sporty Stuff TV.
Good evening and welcome to Monday night at the pool, Sporty Stuff TV Champions Cup. We've got 5 live matches coming at you tonight, and next to me is the governor of the IPA. I'll call him the governor anyway, Kevin Barton. Good evening, Kev. How are we?
Evening, Gary. Yeah, really enjoyed that first match. So we're underway, and great start for Morgan.
You nearly woke me up, didn't you, halfway through it? We had the longest frame, didn't we? I think we've ever had, haven't we, in pool there?
Yeah, sometimes the balls just determine, how a frame will go, and it was just one of those frames. But for Morgan fans, he got the result, came through, and went on to claim the 2 points.
Remind me of our commentator Jim White's pal Cliff Fulburn on the snooker table there. Anyway, let's get on to tonight. We've got 4 players playing tonight. You know more about these than us, Kevin, our viewers. Tell us about them. Morgan Mckinnis, who just played. Well, you tell us about Morgan.
Yeah, one of the best players in Scotland, one of these rising stars, one of the young guns that are coming through, and just showing in a couple of frames there just exactly what he's all about. So definitely more to come from him. And
he never knew he was playing until about 11 o'clock this morning, did he? He got the late call up.
Late call up, and then on the train about an hour later, and planes, trains and automobiles to get here. But
right into Yorkshire, and 2 points first frame. Who else we got now? We've got our favourite this evening, haven't we? Who all the money's been for today. Oh, sorry, we've got Mark Pickwood. Well, sorry, Mark hasn't had a friend in the bookies today. No one's backed Mark. No one wanted to know Mark today. And after that first match, I know he's lost, but you can see why the punters never wanted to play with Mark tonight.
Well, yeah, but those first 2 frames just show what Mark's all about. He looked like he'd never been away from the table, and it was a great start for him. He did exactly the same thing in the Champions Cup last year. Just run out of steam a little bit.
He's a terrier. And our favourite, this is where all the money's gone today, Darryl Whitworth, 6-4 at one stage to win the event, down to even money, 11-10. They call him the MK Potter from Milton Keynes. Darryl Whitworth.
Yeah, very good player, and rightly the bookie's favourite. He is arguably the standout player of this group, and we'll see if he can do the business when he comes up.
And our outsider of the party this evening, Gary Southern, is 5-1 out to 8-1 in places. Tell us about Gal.
Yeah, Gary, ex-professional, really nice player. Don't be surprised if he causes some upsets tonight.
Really?
He was one of the last qualifiers, qualified in the Isle of Man a couple of weeks ago, but ex-professional.
Right, let's look at the form guide, as we say. We always have a form guide Dave puts up for us, doesn't he? But and the odds coming up here. Morgan Mckinnis here, 11-4. Well, he's not 11-4 now. Don't forget, all these prices to win the group are only available up to 9 o'clock our first match. So, that's gone. But Mark Pickwood was 11-4. You can have a bit of tens now, Mark Pickwood. Darryl Whitworth 5-4. As I said, he's been 6-4 this morning, and Gary Southern 5-1 out to 8-1. Look at the prices for these players to win the event outright. though. 66, clickety click, 16, and 100-1 Gary Southern. So any value there?
Well, I think to win the tournament, Darryl Whitworth 16s. That's that would be a nice bit of value. The winner of this we're going to see shortly. Which group they're going to go into. If he can perform like everyone knows he can, then he should get through this group comfortably, I think.
Morgan Mckinnis, his form, how he's been playing.
Yeah, Morgan. Well, as we said, he's one of these rising stars. Snuggles, what a nickname that is.
I love the nicknames in Paul. I love it.
It's a tremendous nickname. But look at his recent form. 8 out of 10. He has won an IPA amateur event in the season that's just finished. And, look at that win percentage, 73%. So amateur or professional, doesn't really matter. 73% tells you he can play.
And our favourite this evening, Darryl Whitworth for Milton Keynes.
Darryl, yeah, Dazza, got to be the worst nickname ever. That's a really lazy nickname.
Kids called me Gazza at school, so there's another one.
Yeah, his form, is around about the 50% mark in his form and his win percentage. But, he's a new professional. This boy can play.
It's short price, though, considering he's ranked 35. It's high rating, isn't it? Mark Pickwood, the tiny assassin, as you say. My old pal has been in your seat most of our previous 2 or 3 weeks, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's made this chair very comfy. Mark, look, he doesn't play much. Everyone knows that. He's running around doing all this stuff, making sure this event runs as smoothly as possible for the players. So, you know, it's reflected in his form and his win percentage. But, you know, don't take him lightly, because he can play. You know, we saw in the first couple of frames just exactly what he's capable of. He did exactly the same thing in the Champions Cup last year.
He's a terrier, isn't he?
He is a terrier.
And how about
never goes away.
tonight? Gary Southern, tell us about him.
Yep, Gary, Silverback. He's fairly new to the IPA, but he has been on the IPA in the past and played as a professional. Very, very nice player. If he can adapt to the conditions, cope with the nerves, he could cause a few surprises. He's a nice player.
His nickname there, Silverback, it's just come to me now. On the darts world, you know, I love the darts. Tony O'Shea, he's called Silverback, isn't he? From Liverpool,
there's a few around.
And our first match coming up here, I was looking at the odds here, Gary Southern against Darryl Whitworth. I think Darryl Whitworth, on that rating, 35, is frightening the life out of me, but I thought he should be a good 2-1 on chance. He's about 4-6, 8-11 against Gary Southern, who's 5-2. Don't forget the tie's a big runner. You love the tie, Kev. You said in this short format, the tie's a big runner, and our betting partners are finding a load of people betting the ties. So far, the punters have been doing their money. Could this be a tie, Kev, or what's your opinion here?
Well, I thought the first match would be a tie. I wasn't far off. I think I will be surprised if there isn't any ties tonight, because I think this group is really compact, and I think, you know, there's not a bigger gap between the players as we've seen in other groups. So I think this could really go down to the last few frames of the last match.
And you know what? Tomorrow and Wednesday, our semi-final time, and we're going to show you here the semi. Look at that semi-final tomorrow night. We've got Gareth Hibbert, we've got Ben Davis, Mark Farnsworth, Ross Fernie, 3 world champions there. And Ross Fernie, he wouldn't be a big price to be world champion as well at some stage of his career, would he?
Well, Ross Fernie's in the form of his life. You know, he's won 2 IPA titles this year. Phenomenal achievement. You know, the other 3, as you say, world champions. Who is going to win that group? Absolutely no idea. It is completely stacked. And as we saw, the winner of this group will go into the other group with Craig Marsh and Drew Hughes. Again, another tough group. Both those guys are playing really well. So, yeah, it's all to play for.
Really, really close, isn't it, tomorrow night? I think it's about a 7-all chance. I'm going to show you the betting odds now, just coming up on the screen here. And these are the odds here. We've already had the first match, as you know, Mark Pickwood. We've got Gary Southern against Darryl Whitworth. 8-11, Darryl. Where the money's come from for the MK Potter? I don't know, but everyone wants to be on Darryl Whitworth today. Then you've got Gary Southern against Morgan, who's just won the first match. Darryl Whitworth against Mark Pickwood. It's really, really close, all of it. In fact, Kevin had a word with all the players actually in the arena tonight there earlier. And let's see what, Kev, over to you, mate.
Gary, I'm down in the arena. I'm joined by Morgan. Morgan, great performance, bearing in mind the kind of day you've had.
Yeah, I am the single worst player in the world when travelling the same day and having to play. My record is absolutely awful, but I'll take great pleasure out of that win, because you need to win when you're not playing well, and I managed to do that, especially from 2-0 down. Yeah, a couple of nice shots, a couple of awful shots, but it's just the 2 points that matters. Yeah,
after that, you know, pretty elongated 4th frame there, which you managed to come out on top of, that must have given you a great buzz for the rest of that match.
They're my favourite frames. I absolutely loved it when it went tight, and I accidentally put my yellow on top of his red. Just let me settle, give me a bit more table time, and thankfully I got a couple of rubs in that frame and managed to get the win.
Well, Morgan, well played, and good luck for the rest of the evening.
Thank you.
So Morgan Mckinnis, he gets his campaign underway, 2 points. Unfortunately, it was against our very own, the tiny sassy Mark. It started off so well. What went wrong?
Yeah, I started off well. I had a little bit of run, but I just no touch on the table. It's just so reactive, and I had balls flying around everywhere, to be honest. But yeah, that 4th frame was so important, and Morgan, deserved to win the match.
Yeah, it was almost deja vu, wasn't it? Because you started off in the same way in the Champions Cup last year, playing some pretty incredible stuff, as if you'd never been away.
Yeah, well, you've been watching me, have you? But no, I felt all right when I started off. You know, I got a few rubs of the green just as it sort of swapped around to Morgan in the sort of the latter stage of that match. But onwards and upwards, I've just got to check out on the other 2 now.
So tell us just about the table. You know, you talk about how reactive the cloth and the balls are.
If you haven't got a touch game, and you know, just like the soft screws, the soft stuns, and all of that, if you can't like control any of them, that table just takes it off, and it really does, and you just don't know where the white's going to go.
Well, thanks a lot, Mark, and good luck for your remaining 2 matches. You never know.
Thanks, Kev.
Mark Pickwood. So our next player up, who will be coming up shortly, it's tonight's favourite, Darryl Whitworth. Dazza, tell us about your nickname. Where did that come from?
Well, there's not much that goes with Whitworth, so pretty simple one. I've heard you taking the mick out of it on the commentary. So
Yeah. I think we need to have a campaign, a Twitter campaign to get your new
people
nickname.
choose. I'm not fussed.
Yeah,
Whatever
we're going to
they
be on
like.
that one. So you're coming in tonight as the favourite. Does that put a bit of extra pressure on you?
A little bit. Obviously, everyone in the group can play. It's a tight group, like you've all been saying. I think a few of my mates have had a fair bit of money on me. That's what's pushed the odds down. But yeah, it's going to be a tough group.
So if you can get through and get into that group with Drew Hughes and Craig Marsh, potentially Rob Donkin, these are the sort of things that you want to play for, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I had a good run in it last year. Hopefully, can have the same run this year.
And do you draw on that experience from last year? You know, playing in this this arena and this environment.
Hopefully, it gives me an advantage. But yeah, each experience is new and it's tough, short format, and yeah, it's how the balls roll.
Good luck, Dazza, for the rest of the evening. Darryl Whitworth there, so he gets his campaign underway in the next few minutes, and he will be up against our last qualifier, Gary Southern. Welcome.
Kevin, how are you doing?
So you qualified just a few weeks ago. You've been looking forward to this day for the last few weeks.
Absolutely, totally excited. It's going to be a great experience. It's something that all pool players strive to achieve. Play on TV, show the skills. Great environment. The table's playing really well. So yeah, I'll just give my best shot. Great experience.
So you're coming in as a big underdog, well, fairly big underdog. Does that take the pressure off a little bit?
Slightly, but there's still obviously you want to do well for your friends and family. You know, a lot of people watching me at home. You don't want to make a fool of yourself. You want to, perform. It's probably a once in a lifetime opportunity. Getting on.
And tell us about the friends and family, all the messages that you've had over the last few weeks as people have realised you're playing.
Dozens and dozens of messages, and it's great support. It always helps you. So yeah, I'm going to try my best.
I'm sure you will. Gary, great to talk to you, and good luck for tonight.
Thanks, Kevin.
So that's the 4 players. So we're going to take a short commercial break now. We'll be back in 3 minutes. If you want to play along, then brilliant. But if not, we'll see you back here in 3 minutes.
Champions Cup, Group F, Match 2, best of 6 frames. First frame, Darryl Whitworth to break. Time running.
Well, a very good evening and welcome to Sporty Stuff TV. It's the 2022 Champions Cup. Darryl Whitworth, well, he won the lag, and he will initiate proceedings here with the break. Heavily favored in this match, and my co-commentator, Kevin Barton, well, he thinks this is just a perfect tightening match for a group favorite.
Yes, we'll soon see if I'm right or not. The break's not going to help that theory, but yeah, I think if Darryl wants to get through this group, this is a match that he's got to win. He's favourite to do so. So if the match was played on paper, we'd be just putting him through. But Gary's, he's been around a bit. He's quite experienced. He's probably not played in this sort of environment for, well, if at all. Whereas Darryl played in the Champions Cup last year, so he will have some good memories of last year. So if he can draw on that and really control his emotions, I do expect him to probably qualify from the group. But I do think I just got this feeling that it's just going to be so tight, this group.
Well, it's short races too, aren't they, Kevin? And I mean, pressure is out there, nerves being exposed, and you really don't get much of a chance to settle in. I was quite impressed with young Morgan Mckinnis, how he just thought that, the way that everything unfolded, he was just happy to get the 2 points under his belt. I think that everyone can pretty well say the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. They're big 2 points. To get 2 points in your opening match, you almost feel like you've got one step in the next phase. It's such a massive accomplishment. And obviously the reverse for whoever loses.
Well, Darryl looking pretty strong here. He's got himself into a very tidy position, just taking the reds out nicely. And in his mind, just weighing up exactly where he wants that cue ball to travel.
Yep, just using his extension. making sure he's clearing his mind which way, and he could actually go for any of these balls. So now he's going to have to pull out a big shot here, and screw across, and somewhere near the black. A little bit fortunate to kiss the yellow full ball. Stop the white going far and wide, but job done. And this black to start his campaign off in good style.
Frame.
And that he does. Was given the opportunity, and more impressive how well he controlled that cue ball. Great finish from Daryl Whitworth, securing frame 1 and holding serve.
It's so important in these short races to get that first frame on the board as soon as you can. It really is a settler. He's going to be feeling a whole lot better. As Gary said in his interview, he's going to have a lot of family and friends wanting to do well.
Frame 2.
So that's that extra
Gary's
pressure
second
there.
Trailing 1 frame to 0.
Sometimes you can get into the mindset
Time
where you
running.
just don't want to make any silly mistakes, and you just focus too much on that rather than letting your arm go and playing the game.
Successful break from Gary, but not quite as open a table as welcomed Daryl Whitworth in the last. And he says he's an ex-professional, so he's got the experience of having played at this level, but he just recently won the qualifier in the Isle of Man to book his ticket into this event.
10 seconds. Extension call.
Yeah, he did. And came through a tricky field to get his place. I remember speaking to him afterwards. He was absolutely thrilled to bits to secure his spot. He's a nice cueist.
Yeah. As shown right there, smooth. And why they call him Silverback, I can only assume that he's got a gorilla type of mentality.
We may never know, Jim.
Well, I know one thing, I'm not going to ask him. I'd rather have him collecting my debts.
So if we can get the one into the left centre, he's not got much afterwards, only double country. Not much value in taking the one into the top right, so he'll leave that till the end. Try and work on these at this bottom end of the table. Can he get the... Well, he's gone a little bit too far there. To double this into the left centre and bring the white down. To take it the other yellow into the left corner. So he's forced into... Is he doubling into the left corner?
What a shot. He's not on another yellow, though, but he's still at the table. Great shot from Gary there.
Yeah, I think...
Can he float this into the side?
Yeah, I think he can just drop this in, Jim, dead weight. This won't have much energy on it.
Oh. Well, it didn't look to me like he was on a yellow, but there was just enough pocket there to be able to welcome it. He'd like to have been just a bit straighter here, though. This is tricky. Oh, he just tried to pinch the pocket to stay on that black. And how costly is that miss going to be?
Yeah, the natural angle to pop that in the corner would have just made... He wouldn't have got on the black. So like you say, Jim, he just tried to pinch a little bit. I don't think he quite got through the shot as he intended. And the bag wasn't very forgiving. We've seen a few drop in that bag that have raised an eyebrow or two, but not on that occasion. Just a little bit undercooked that one, Daryl. Still okay.
Oh, that's a costly miss. Just when it looked like he might seize frame 2 from Gary's miss, he turns the table right back over. So big chance now for Gary to level things up.
Just about made it.
Frame.
Yes, he gets it. Black into the center and 1-1 confirmed. That's just the sort of start that Gary was looking for. Just survived a scare there. Could easily have been 2-0 down. But at 1-1, well and truly in the match.
Yeah, big error there from Daryl. Just, it was the shot before that caused the problem. Didn't quite get through the ball. He was just a little bit tentative on the shot. Could have, needed another foot of pace. So that was, that's quite a bit of an error there. A bit of a confidence denter to miss that easy one into the middle.
Frame 3. Daryl Whitworth to break. Scores are tied, 1 frame all. Time running.
Well, frame 3. Well, that's a great break too.
Yeah, it doesn't give it loads of power, but times it really well. Look at that white coming straight back down the centre of the table. Nowhere near any danger of going in a pocket there. And straight on the yellows. The obvious one, tricky one. Slightly run out of position. Probably just trying to hit the balls a little bit harder now after being a little bit under in the last frame.
Let's get the angle on this yellow. Kevin, would he want to try and disturb that awkward one? Well, apparently not. Leave that one.
Well, he's going to be
from the yellow
last.
nearest the bottom right.
Yeah. I don't think it goes in this bottom right-hand pocket. I think if he got absolutely millimetre perfect, he could probably flick it in with a little bit of side. But I think for all intents and purposes, he might need to move it. On that overhead, though, it does look like it might
10
go.
seconds.
He's going into it. No, he's playing position.
No, he's not far enough. I don't think he's traveled up far enough with that cue ball. Can he see enough of this? So close.
Well, it was a good attempt. But you just know that the Farnsworth and Davises and Marshes of this world, that wouldn't have been the last ball.
10 seconds.
It probably all went wrong after his first positional shot, Jim. When he had the yellow into the right centre. If it had been straight on that, he could have attacked that yellow straight away.
No, very good point. I think leaving it to the end just afforded him no mistakes. But if nothing else, he gets back to the table. It's not necessarily the most opportunistic shot that anyone would want, bridging right over the black.
Yeah, but he's got to be happy just to be getting a shot. That was a bit of a careless one from Gary. He had a big pocket. He's hit it too thin. That was the awkward cueing. A lot of nerves out there, Jim.
And understandably, like I said, they're short races. You never really get a chance to settle in. That's why you try and get the 2 points and get out of Dodge.
10 seconds.
Oh, that's a terrific long red. He knew he was covering the pocket even if he didn't get it, but now every chance.
Yep, just needs one decent positional shot. Is that white to bounce? Oh, he's asking himself the question.
He is very smooth. Kevin, you said that he was a very good cueist. Delivers that cue so nicely.
Yeah, he's got a very nice action. Getting a bit more growing in confidence now. Just zip that round off a couple of cushions with some side. So you can see he's starting to really get into this match now. And he's going to be feeling pretty good in the next few seconds when this black goes in and he moves ahead for the first time in the match.
Well, he's getting chances and he's capitalizing on the ones he's getting. But Gary Southern 2-1. Now in front of Daryl Whitworth, the man who was heavily fancied to proceed through this group stage. Well, they forgot to tell Gary about that.
Yeah, a few little worrying signs for Daryl. He's had chances in the last 2 frames, relatively easy chances, and not being able to get them home. If he wants to progress in this competition, he is going to have to eliminate those unforced errors.
Well, that one was against that last one against his break as well, Kevin. So,
time running.
You know, every chance now. If Gary puts a good break together here, Daryl may be planted in the seat for the duration of this frame.
Well, he's got the first part of the equation, managed to pot one. White avoided going in the centre. And whilst they look a bit clustered, they're actually not too bad. Certainly yellows, black an obvious problem, but
10 seconds. Extension call.
He's definitely got options here.
Red off the yellow? Oh, yellow off the red, sorry. And now they're there for the taking.
And he's got a couple of balls that he can use to try and get that black out or move the red. I think he might take the yellow into the bottom right corner, then just leave a nice natural angle on the yellow into the right centre. He's going to pot this into the right centre and just try and nudge that black out and leave himself hopefully on the one over the right centre. So 3 parts to this pot. You got 2 right, one wrong.
Yeah, a little unfortunate there, Kevin. I think it's fair to say that was a game effort and deserved a better result.
So the pot's easy enough. into the left corner. It's all about holding position. These are tricky. Got a really nice touch on these. I think he was focusing more on the white ball there, about the position, and forgot completely about the pot. Not sure if he's left him an edge here. Can he swerve it? If it's a total, he might try and come right behind it. You could see it. I think under the circumstances, that was the best he could do. And he puts the pressure back onto Darrell. And we've seen him just make a couple of errors already. So he's being asked the question again.
10 seconds.
Still, that black is the problem for Gary.
It's a slightly risky game plan that Darrell's playing here. He's just letting Gary have shots.
10 seconds.
But now he's got his chance. And this is one I think he's going to have to take, Jim, if he's going to be serious about his chances in this event. No. Well, I'm really surprised at that. I say this is a high-risk strategy, because if he swerves out of this, it pots the yellow, he might well leave himself
Total snooker.
a shot on the yellow in the top corner, and that yellow's up there in a good place to try and dislodge the black.
10 seconds.
Oh, he didn't want to catch it rail first because he's a little too straight on this yellow now to do what you suggested, Kevin, and get that black into the open. Oh, what's the game plan now, Gary?
Well, I think all I can see is going to pot this into the top left-hand corner, probably stun the white, then can he play the black off the cushion, off the red, and into the corner pocket? Is that shot on?
Well, if it is, he's perfect with the cue ball. Cushion, well, it doesn't look like he can get in behind the red.
Well, he had a plan B. Darrell prepared to play the waiting game here. I think he's been taking tips from Mark Pickwood and Morgan Mckinnis from that fourth frame. He realises the importance of this frame, and he's going to do everything he can to make sure that he gets to parity and tries to close out the match.
Frame.
Wow, how about that? He waited too long. What a shot. Gary Southern, come on down. This is your time to shine. Check it out again. Had to cannon the other red out of the way for the path for the black to the center pocket. What an unbelievable turn of events here, and a 3-1 advantage to the man they thought was the outsider.
Yeah, and that's what can happen in this game. If you give your opponent a shot, things like that happen. And he'd given him 2 or 3 goes, and it was probably third time lucky for Gary. But I think Darrell is for me is just playing a little bit too negative.
Frame 5.
His game is about,
Whitworth to break.
you know,
Turning 3
breaking
frames
and
to 1.
dishing,
Time running.
taking the finishes out. He's as good a potter as anyone, and I think he's just trying to get bogged down. He's probably doing what the guys were doing in the first match. He's trying not to lose it rather than going out to win it. And I'm just wondering if that's that little bit of extra pressure about being the favourite to win tonight. It's just affecting his play a little bit.
Or, Kevin, could it just be manufactured by a couple bad misses and his confidence is a little bit flailing?
Yeah, well, it could be. Only Daryl will know, but, you know, he should be confident. He's a great potter. He really is. And you've just got to trust in yourself at times. And he looked like he was fighting himself in that frame, and he paid the ultimate price.
Much more confident shot there. Well, the best he can force is a draw now. He's got to win the last 2 frames for that. Loaded that cue ball up with left-hand side. Get it back to the center of the table.
Yeah, struck it well. This is what he needs to. This is how he needs to be playing. He needs to play his game. Judged the kiss well. So now he's just got to work out. He'd like to get the white ball somewhere near that yellow that's on the right cushion.
10
Yeah,
seconds.
difficult shot though. This is one of those. This is what you do your yoga stretching for in the morning.
Yep, never fail to get the stretches in. But he's just overcooked that one a little bit. It's all going wrong at the moment for the favourite. Well, he's really pushing the boat out now. Oh, but what a shot there from Daryl Whitworth. His tournament was on the line and he's pulled that out. That is phenomenal.
Well, we've seen some spectacular shot making in this match already. Is there one more in his bag of tricks?
There's not much room for this black to get past the yellow for the double. It looks good. Oh, Jim, what a finish.
Unbelievable. And he walks back to the chair like it was all straightforward. What a finish from Daryl Whitworth there. Gets back to 3-2 down, but some kind of shot-making performance there.
Well, that was arguably probably the best 3 or 4 ball finish we've had in the tournament. I mean, he really didn't get. He got positioned on one ball, but pulled out a double off the side rail. Yeah, that was some finish. Just keeps him in the tournament, Jim. Really.
Final frame.
He's going to have to sit and watch Gary break.
Leading 3 frames to 2.
But that has definitely sent a message over to the Southern camp. Because that last visit from Daryl Whitworth showed no fear whatsoever.
Yeah, and, you know, as I said, he needs to be playing his game, which is, you know, just attack, trusting the potting, trusting your ability. That's what's got you to this tournament. And you can see he's just hitting that ball with so much more confidence now. I mean, it's a different player.
He had a good look to see if that red just below the yellow, above the one that he's putting now, passes to the other corner. I'm not sure that it did, but the way he's played it, got to believe it does.
Yeah, it must go. He's just slightly underhit that one. Not sure he's got a full pocket for this one.
Yeah, slid that in top side. It looks like he can get through to that red to the bottom right corner.
So we saw Morgan Mckinnis turn up in frame 5 of his match earlier. Here's Darryl Whitworth doing the same.
Well, one thing about it, we're witnessing why this man was made the group favorite, because these are some kind of finishes he's showing us now. And there we go. Our second match here on Monday night. And we have seen a draw. It's a rare sight. 3-3, Whitworth versus Southern, 1 point each. And next to come, well, Gary will be staying on the table, and we're going to see young Morgan Mckinnis back on center stage. But that was some performance from Mr. Whitworth, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, Jim. Well, the last 2 frames it was, Jim, but before, I've got Kev next to me. Kev, I know you commentated on that. It was a different Darryl, wasn't it, the last 2 frames there?
Yeah, it was almost a mirror image of the first match. You know, we saw both glimpses from both players in the first 4 frames. And then we had that frame 5 where Morgan did that great clearance, and we saw a fantastic clearance there from Darryl. Then closed out the match to secure the point. So both matches very similar at the end.
The longer it went on there, Darryl, I know he's only got 1 point out of it, but he'd feel really confident now in his next 2 matches, wouldn't he? You know, I know he's got Mark Pickwood in the next match. I should imagine Mark shaking in his shoes there, because how he did that last 2 frames there was absolutely... He never missed a shot, did he?
Yeah, that was top draw, and that's what we know Darryl can do. And where was it for the first few frames, and particularly that frame where, you know, he gave Gary all those chances at the black, which he potted in the end. You know, he'll be probably kicking himself over that frame, but, you know, it's done. He's got a point, and, you know, he should be happy with that.
And our next match we've got on here, we've got Gary... who played well there, didn't he, Gary? You know, he really did play well against Morgan. Well, Gary come back from 2-0 down to win 4-2 in the 9 o'clock match, was it? That was on YouTube, was it? IPA YouTube. But in this match again, really on form, you've got to fancy Morgan, haven't you, really, to win it? Just looking at the odds here, Morgan's 11-10 and Gary's 2-1, and the tie again round about 5-2. I know you like these ties, but how would your opinion on this one, Kev, before we go for the break?
Well, I think what we've seen so far is that Morgan is definitely the favourite. So, you know, some nice stuff from Gary, but a few unforced errors. Morgan finished his match really strong against Mark. So if he keeps that momentum going into this next match, he's going to be a big favourite.
Interesting, weren't it? So if you want to come back in 3 minutes, we'll come back for Gary. The Morgan, I fancy Morgan, around about 11-10. He'll do for me.
Champions Cup, Group F, Match 3, best of 6 frames. First frame, Morgan Mckinnis to break. Time running.
So it's a youthful talent up against experience. Young Morgan Mckinnis with the break. Traveled down from Scotland today with an opportunity to play with the big boys. And a dry break. So Gary Southern, the former professional, booked his place into the event by virtue of winning a qualifier, the Isle of Man, a couple weeks ago. Kevin, he's got a lot of talent too, doesn't he?
10 seconds.
Yeah, it did. And
Cool.
I said in his previous match that when you watch him cue, very, very smooth, very silky. Doesn't look like he's putting any effort into it. It's it's really easy on the eye. Not much can go wrong with it. It's there's certainly glimpses in there of certainly what he's capable of. But that won't be one of his highlights of today. But just trying to force the pace a little bit there.
This is a real opportunity for Morgan. I mean, he won his first match against Mark Pickworth, but he can seize control of this group with an emphatic win here. If he could come up with a one-sided victory over Gary, he would take control of this group.
Yep, it's definitely all to play for all the players. But Morgan, if he can get a victory here, any sort of victory, it's going to be a huge step for him getting into that final, or even as a second place runner-up. 4 points with a good frame difference, and he's going to be in the mix.
Well, these players vying to join Craig Marsh, Andrew Hughes, and Rob Duncan. He's one of the runners-up with a good performance. I suppose Rob Duncan could still be displaced. Is that true, Kevin?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, as a second place runner-up. I mean, he put on some performance, did Rob. So it's going to be it's going to take a fantastic effort from one of these players to just nudge him out. He looked like a man on a mission, did Rob, the other night.
Ten seconds.
That black is in an awkward place up near the top corner.
Ten seconds.
And Gary got a point out of the last match, so alternatively for him, if he can get a victory in this match, it puts him in prime position.
Ten seconds.
Just lost the cue ball slightly there.
Has he got an angle just to put this in the corner and just take the yellow off the side rail?
10 seconds.
Well, that's definitely on.
Might be just top side. No, he missed again. He did that in the last frame, just concentrated too much on the positional side with the white and just forgot the pot.
Ten seconds.
So no, Morgan's quite adept at these safety exchanges.
And he was trying to guard the pocket from the black. I'm not sure he's accomplished it. Both players have had a look to see if that black will pass the red into the corner.
Yeah, well, I can see from here that definitely goes past. So this is this now becomes a good chance for Gary. That's just gone a bit awkward for him.
And there's nothing jumping out. He may have to defend from here. Tell you what, he just got that one in under the wire. He had 1 second to play as he released the cue. Players have a 30-second shot clock they have to be mindful of, and they're allowed 1 extension
10 seconds.
per frame.
Extension called.
And Morgan wisely uses his as his was winding down.
Yeah, talking of Rob Donkin, I think Rob had a time foul himself as well, didn't he, the other night?
Yeah, and Mark Boyle in one of the earlier matches. Yep.
It's not just me, Jim.
10 seconds.
Well, I didn't want to say, Ken.
Well, he's had another attempt to get that red in front of the black. That's a little bit tighter, but I think if he was right behind it, he could drop that in.
Ten seconds.
Yeah, it's just not going to be easy, though. Again, he's got to judge where the other yellow is going to go.
Yeah, he's got to try and pot this one in the bottom corner and then just bounce that yellow off so he can pot it in the right centre. Which, if he can get it right, might not be too bad.
Well, he can play this into the right center. He'll have to draw the cue ball off that other red. Should come off that side cushion and get back towards the middle of the table. We've already determined that there is a pocket available for that black. Well, I wonder if Morgan is going to take advantage of that mess.
He's tucking up again.
Total snooker.
Certainly don't blame him in that position. Just wants to extract the foul and then just develop one of these on the bottom cushion, and then it should be fairly plain sailing in this frame. But we saw what this man was capable of
Foul.
in the previous frame when he came out of the snooker and potted that black.
Time running.
Yeah, that was an unbelievable shot. Didn't even look like the black had a pocket, but the way that he played it, kind of cannoned the red out of the way and made that black, made room for the black into the center. What a shot that was from Gary in the last match.
Yeah, you couldn't have played it better if you'd have just put the white anywhere on the table and played the shot. Just giving himself a little bit extra security. Try and put that yellow on the bottom cushion, which is done successfully. So now it's just about finishing the job off.
He's got to get ahead for the game, doesn't he? He said in his interview that he enjoys the tactical exchanges and gives him a chance to get a little extra table time in, allow the nerves to settle.
Yeah, and most players probably, might not play a frame like that in a season. They don't come around that often in these rules, these conditions, fast tables. Most players just, they're looking for the finish at the first visit. Whatever the position of the balls are. I mean, we saw, Rob Donkin play some ultra attacking shots, to develop balls last night. And that's how most of these players like to play. But it's always good to have that B game, Jim, isn't it? Because you can't win a tournament just usually with your A game. You've got to have that something to fall back on at times when it's getting a little bit tough.
No, that's for certain, Kevin. Winning ugly.
Yeah. And any of these players tonight won't be bothered if they can win ugly, but at the end of the night, be top of the table.
10 seconds.
Well, he hasn't finished on the red, so he's going to have to defend here, I think.
Well, I think he'll be tempted to take this one, Jim, bottom left.
Yeah, I was going to say no real risks, are there? I mean, with the yellow at the top end of the table, which was a good shot that he played just to buy himself a little bit of insurance. And
10 seconds.
if he could knock this in, tricky shot.
He won't be screwing back much, that's for sure.
Oh, what a shot. What a shot from Morgan there.
Yeah, that's one of the best shots he's played tonight. Played it ultra confidently and really good position with the white ball now. Let's play this off the cushion, lots of right hand side. And bring that white as close behind the black as possible.
Well, again, he's taken a lot of time. First frame. And a big moment.
10 seconds. Frame.
And secures the black. And with it, the opening frame. It's a 1-0 advantage to Morgan Mckinnis. Gary Southern, he had the handcuffs on for most of that opening frame, and there was no way that Morgan was going to throw him the key. 1-0 to the young Scot.
Yep, one step closer to getting another 2 points. Still early days though in this match, but the start he wanted. Really well supported is Morgan from Scotland. We saw early on the YouTube channel.
Trailing 1-0.
Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people tuning in to watch him. Great following.
Well, you must know his family pretty well too, Kevin. I mean, his dad was a very good player, Ross, and his mom pretty handy too, but much better known for her refereeing days, Michaela.
Time running.
Yeah, Morgan's certainly got one of the best teachers that he could have. Ross, very, very, very good player.
It's funny, the last time that Michaela and I saw each other, she was in Toronto, and I was driving her to the airport, and she was telling me a little bit about this young man. And when I saw his last name, when he was introduced as a replacement in the event, I just wondered how many Morgan Mckinnises can there be that come from the pool world. So I had to quickly do a little bit of research to find out that, yeah, he was well and truly from a very high up bloodline.
Yep, just the one, Morgan Mckinnis. But yeah, his dad, the Flying Scotsman, I think he was called. He was at his peak when I sort of first started playing.
10 seconds.
Learned a lot of things from how he played the game. He played out, because obviously the rules back in those days were quite negative. But he was one of those players that really tried to open it up, and very, very clever player.
Well, you can bet that they've got a table at home, so you can also bet that this man comes here in good nick. But again, we've mentioned he traveled down today and trying to get mentally ready to play in this event. Well, that's another story. And we're getting an example of just how strong he is above the shoulders.
Yeah, I think he got the call about 12-ish, and I think he was on the train at about 1:15. So he was given the opportunity, grabbed it with both hands, and that's exactly what he's doing here tonight. He's got a good manner around the table as well. He's got nice pace about him. He's one of those players, he doesn't look rushed.
Yeah, can be very intimidating too when you see someone that's very settled at the table, takes his time. Reminds me a little bit of Liam Dunster too. I see a little bit of that in him. Very calculating.
Yeah, I think those two have probably practiced together a few times with each other, and it looks like some of Liam's mannerisms have potentially rubbed off on him. Not a bad thing, of course.
No, not at all.
Ten seconds.
Steps into the shot in a similar way to Liam. You know, gives every shot the respect it deserves. When you think of Morgan, Ross Fernie, Liam Dunster, there's probably many more. The future of Scottish pool is in very good hands.
Black to the right center for a 2-0 lead.
Frame.
Nice and still over the cue. Almost always a formula for success. It's 2-0. Morgan Mckinnis over Gary Southern. And the young Scot flying.
Yeah, just continuing where he left off in his first match. Won the last 4 frames in that match, and he's won the first 2 here. 6 frames without a response. He's making big strides to put his place in tomorrow night's semi-final stage.
Well, a chance too. That was against Gary's serve. So a chance now
Time running.
with Morgan at the table. A 3-0 advantage is calling.
Foul.
Just too many balls that could have stopped that cue ball from finding gravity.
3 shots. 1 visit. Time running.
Well, that's a little bit unlucky, really. I mean, put a lifeline for Gary.
Ten seconds.
I think that yellow, the red that's just nearest the right centre, I think that'll just go in the centre pocket. So really, this is a really good chance for Gary to get right back in this match. If he can, for old Morgan's great start, we would just still be on serve.
And Gary also strikes me like the type of player that embraces pressure.
Yeah, it's always nice to have a really reliable cue action that you can call on when and it starts to get a bit testy out there.
Well, that's what all those hours of practice are for, Kevin. So you just let that back arm do what it's been trained to do. Has he been a little unfortunate here?
Well, it's a good news, bad news scenario. He managed to just get the plant. So obviously that red possibly didn't go into the middle bag. Otherwise, I think he would have just played the one over the corner off the cushion. But he's got a plant to keep things going. But that's not one of his best attempts. He's going to be disappointed with that one.
They'd be a lot more disappointed if this yellow goes by the black into the side pocket. So this will be another gilt-edged opportunity for Morgan.
Extension called.
Again, not rushing, just working out the shot.
Yeah, it must be close, Kevin. He's had a few looks at it. Maybe not a full pocket.
10 seconds.
This is look number 3. Oh, what a shot. What a shot. Half a pocket. Thumped in with confidence. And those are the sort of shots that send messages across the arena to your opponent.
Yeah, Gary got a good view of that one.
10 seconds.
I don't think Gary will be too phased about, you know, what Morgan's doing. I think he'll be probably just more concerned about the mistakes he's making. Just a couple of errors that, you know, are going to cost him frames. But this is a big shot coming up. Is he playing safe? Is he playing a double?
10 seconds.
Looks like the double.
Well, cue ball has landed into an area where Gary may be forced to only defend, and it's going to be a tricky defense.
Yeah, the double attempt that Morgan did there. When you hit them a little bit harder on these cloths, they really do square up. I certainly found that out to my cost a couple of times. You know, this is a good shot. He's been a little bit unlucky. Wanted to hit the left hand of those two reds, then he would have left Morgan snookered. But because he just glanced that first one, he's just opened the path for the white to get to the yellow.
Not going to be easy, though, even if he gets this yellow. And that's a big if.
10 seconds.
Position from that last yellow to the black, not straightforward. All about speed and line.
Yeah, I mean, he can play this down the left-hand side of the black or the right-hand side. He really is. It's just about the pace, really. Nothing for short.
10 seconds.
Doesn't want to go behind the red.
Total snooker.
He knew.
It was always going to be about position from that last yellow. That was everything in this frame.
Yeah, he knew when that was about 2 or 3 feet away that was going behind the red. The black's on its way. It's travelling round.
And that might well have gift wrapped frame number 3 to Gary Southern. You just can't see Gary failing now.
Well, he might need a little bit more angle. He's going to be too low on this last red. He may be forced to take this red into the top right corner.
Ten seconds.
Yeah, and look where the white was. No position at all. I think the red into the top right corner was the shot.
Gary Southern has completely come unstuck in this match. And Morgan's looking to see if there's a pocket for this black.
10 seconds.
Just got to overcut it, catch the cushion first. Second prize.
Yeah. What does Gary do here? He's got the clip, and he's going to have to send the white round the table. Maybe 4 cushions.
10 seconds.
The clock's ticking down. He's only got 3 seconds. 2. He's going to hit it now.
Time foul.
Time fouled.
1 free shot. 1 visit.
He was taking it a bit too easy, Jim.
Time out.
Well, I mean, I'm waiting for him to speed up. The 10-second warning was announced,
Time
and
running.
just no sense of urgency. Unreal.
Yep.
But gratefully accepted. And it's a 3-0 advantage. He dictated the pace. And in the end, that came true. 3-0 over Gary Southern.
Yeah, Gary joins a very elite club.
A club that you were a member of, Kevin.
I think I was the first member. But, yeah, I mean, I'm just not sure if he was aware. I mean, did he not hear the referee's call? I mean, he's got the 2 screens in front of him. He just didn't seem to be rushing at all. He just was completely unaware of the time.
Trailing 3 frames to 0. Time running.
Well, Gary settles in now. If he didn't have a sense of urgency before the time foul, he better have one now. 3-0 he trails. Frame 4. Now, I just got a message from our colleague, Dan Davey. And we said that Morgan Mckinnis reminded us a lot of Liam Dunster. Well, in fact, they live about 10 minutes apart from each other and practice together all the time, Dan says. So there you go. You practice with a champion, you start to look like one.
10 seconds.
Yeah, and you get good feelings, don't you? You know, like you say, Jim, if you practice with a winner, you see what it takes to be a winner. Those habits you can pick up, and they're good habits to pick up. You can certainly see when he addresses the white ball, when he really steps into the shot. That is Liam Dunster-esque. It's almost as if he's doing an impersonation. It's that similar.
All to do now for Gary. And if he can't let that back arm go now, he'll never be able to let it go. He's got 1 draw under his belt against Darrell Whitworth, player that many thought would be the man who'd be progressing from this group. So that was a pretty good effort. He's going to have to come with some kind of effort if he can pull a draw out here.
Yeah, this will be an even bigger effort. Position's going to be the key. And again, he's concentrated so much on the positional side, he's forgotten the pot. And I think that's 3 times now that Gary's done that. And you're not going to win matches with errors like that.
And Morgan quick to put Gary in the vice.
As we know, Liam's one of the greatest tactical players in the game. You can certainly see Morgan has picked up a lot of that skill and expertise and added it to his game.
in total control, really, in this frame, isn't he?
Yeah, he's just got to bide his time, but still continue to play the right shot, still continue to attack. I mean, that shot he's played there, bit of a nothing shot, really. It's not a snooker. He's just moved the yellow up the table a little bit. Doesn't really help. So, you know, he's still got to keep in that positive frame of mind, even though you're playing, you know, tactical shots. Clever little shot from Gary there, just to sort of kill that yellow, just put it behind the black.
Ten seconds.
Not much for Morgan to go at here. Again, another shot that's not really adding much value to what he's got. So his last two shots, he's put his two yellows on the cushion. Depending how Gary feels, he could, if he puts a little bit of pace into this one, he could stick the white behind the red and free up his red. Yep, just like that.
Total snooker.
And the last couple of shots, this frame has completely turned on its head. So whatever Morgan does here, I think Gary will have some sort of chance.
Well, Gary does have the benefit of having that one red near the tricky black. With the right angle, quite possibly here, to either get right behind it, flick that yellow out of the way.
Possibly. I think he's just looking to get this white right on the side cushion after potting this red. And I think he thinks he can probably just flick that black into the corner with just a little bit of side. But he's going to have to be right on the cushion. It's all about the pace. I think he's short.
Oh, is he just a bit short? Well, cue ball could have traveled even about a half an inch, it looks like, would have been good.
Yeah, it's probably the last thing he expected to be was short. Just tried a little swerve.
Well, he certainly got Morgan under pressure. No choice now.
Ten seconds.
And those shots that you alluded to a little earlier, where he was putting yellows on cushions, well, now they come into play. But he's got to start off with a very good yellow.
Yeah, they could come back to haunt him in this frame. Yeah, that's a good start. One down, 4 to go to secure the 2 points. Now the questions. Does he take the one down the rail, or does he take the one into the right centre and try and move the one that he's going to go for? Well, he's going for it.
Great shot. Under extreme duress.
Yeah, that was a quality shot. And he's going to have to pull out another one. He's going to have to take this one up the rail now. Needs to be careful, just doesn't hit this too thick.
10 seconds.
That's the tendency on these shots sometimes.
It's there. And what a performance this has been from young Morgan Mckinnis. A 4-0 win over Gary Southern, and he has put himself right into
And the
prime
match will
position
continue 4 frames
to
to
win the group. 4-0, emphatic win. Young Morgan Mckinnis, well, he's really let the bookies see what they've missed. Championship performance there. Gary, I'm betting you liked what you saw.
Yeah, I did there, really, Jim. Well, we thought before it started, didn't we? We narrowed this down to 2 players, Jim, you know, Morgan or Darryl, and that's how it's turning out, isn't it? I think that's how it's turning out. One of them's got to win, but that was very impressive there. And what he said about he's another Liam Dunster, he is, isn't he?
Yeah, he certainly is, and but a great player in his own right. You know, we obviously can see some comparisons with the two. Yeah, he's done what he needed to do. Big win, and puts him in the box seat in the group. 4 points, and you know, a point against Darryl will see him through.
So the Kingdom of Fife, they don't have one Liam Dunster. They have someone waiting. He's understudy there just in case, isn't they? Because that was really, really. I thought that was very, very impressive. But our next match here, we've got our Whitworth.
Yeah.
Against Pickwood.
Whitworth and Pickwood. I mean, it's a double act.
The worst. Do you remember Harry Worth? Do you remember a long time ago, Harry Worth?
Before my time, that one. Yeah, so a big match for Darryl. Obviously, Mark lost his first match, so, you know, he's got a massive hill to climb if he's going to progress. But, you know, all eyes on Darryl. Can he get the result and put it down to that final match with him and Morgan? Which is
Darryl won them last 2 frames. He really, really did well, didn't he, when he come back? But we'll come back, shall we, in about 3 minutes' time for the next match. It's a battle of the worst.
Champions Cup, Group F, Match 4. Best of 6 frames. First frame, Darryl Whitworth to break. Time running.
So our group favorite now, the light clearly in front of him as he sees the tunnel. He knows what he's got to do. He needs a big win here against the tiny assassin.
Yep, massive match this for Darryl. Any sort of win is what he needs. But breaks like that are not going to help his cause. I think after his opening match, he'll probably feel a little bit more settled. But he knows that he needs to get to 4 frames in this match. And then it's down to a shootout with the man from Scotland to see who will be taking their place as group winner in tomorrow night's Wednesday night's semi-final even.
Well, the last time we saw Darryl, he was trailing against Gary Southern, and he started to let that back arm go, didn't he, Kevin? And he looked like every bit the favorite.
Yep, he's certainly striking the ball a lot more confidently and authoritatively than he was in his first match against Gary, where he was very tentative. You know, understandably so. It's a big thing, playing on TV. You don't want to do anything daft. You can just get drawn into the experience sometimes rather than just playing your game. But I think we're now starting to see the real Darryl Whitworth. And if he does turn up, then there's going to be a lot of danger signs for Mark.
You feel his best is still to come? I mean, I looked at the ranking and number 35, this 31-year-old. So he's got to play a lot better than a 35 ranked player in the IPA Tour.
Yeah, and a lot of that's just down to you know, how the rankings work, and he's a new professional, so they're always going to be the higher ranked in their first season. Just the way the system works. But you know, everyone in the game knows how good a player he is. The ranking's just a technicality. He's actually got a nice angle here, I think. This one into the left centre. He's going to take him down towards the red in the top right corner. Does he want to play on it, or is he going to try and move it? He's trying to play on it. He needs to run. He was on a good line. That's the thing when you're playing on these fast cloths, Jim. Those touch shots, you really need to be dialed in to the speed of the cloth.
Yeah, you certainly do, Kevin. I was going to say he's putting all his eggs in one basket, though.
Yeah, you can't afford too many mistakes in this match.
I know Mark was a little under the weather the other day. You could even hear it in his voice. So I believe he's feeling a little better. I heard him chatting with you guys prior to starting out.
Yeah, he said he was feeling a lot better today.
He certainly started this event out. I mean, he won the first 2 frames, didn't he?
Yeah, he started off
against
like
Morgan
a train. But, you know, it's always going to be about the consistency, you know. When you practice very little, play very little, you know, you can produce the odd moments of magic, but it's, you know, doing it for 3 matches to get to 4 frames. It is a very, very tall order. And I'm speaking from experience.
Your cue collects a bit of dust, too. You wear too many hats. At the end of the day, this is a touch game.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I know Mark very well. I'd like to see him play how he played in those first 2 frames. You know, he's a punchy kind of player, gets down, punches the ball in. And, you know, if he can get back into that rhythm, he can run 2-3 frames on the trot, no problem. It's still there. But I think he's just tried to be a little bit too negative. I think if he played his natural game, a really punchy style, a bit quick around the table, you know, just try and believe in yourself a little bit more, even though you've, you know, probably got not much confidence to go with that. But he's definitely there, even though he's not played much. He can still cause an upset.
Trying to develop the 2 awkward reds. And if nothing else, force Mark to go game.
Yeah, absolutely perfect. So he gets down, punches him in. It's a lot better play when he's playing like that.
Well, this one's going to be tricky. Can he just lean over the side of the table? Because he kind of just threw his cue at the last one.
Yeah, there wasn't. It was a bit of a stretch for him, that last one. But yeah, played this one very nice round the back of the red.
There were anxious moments there. That white was tracking behind that red for a time, but in the end, the tiny assassin survives and wins frame number 1. Off the mark.
Yeah, he's off and running. Tried his best to hide that white ball behind the red, just to give us a bit of drama at the end of that frame. But fortune was on his side there. That's a good start for Mark. Certainly not the start that Darryl wants. He's going to have to really cut out these unforced errors, James Darryl. He's just making 1 or 2 too many.
Yeah, too many chances. He's given away too many chances to his opposition. Frame number 2. And we'll see if Mark can
Foul.
put a good break together. Oh, no. So much for that thought.
1 free shot, 1 visit, time running.
Yeah, really, with the speed that Mark's hitting the brakes, you know, he's not putting everything into it. You know, he should be controlling the white ball a lot better than that. White ball should be nowhere near the middle bags when you're just hitting it at that kind of pace. So big moments, I think, for Darryl in this match and this tournament. Well, he's doing his best to make this as hard as possible. I mean, he's overscrewed that by a foot.
Yeah, he might be able to still snick this one into that center pocket. It's a very thin cut, and he's going to cannon into the other red. But
Extension call.
God, that was pretty easy position there, Kevin.
Yeah, well, I can tell you the camera sometimes lies a bit. I had something similar, and I didn't think it went. Although my eyes are not as good as they used to be, but yeah, sometimes the camera can be a little bit misleading just about how easy some of these clips are.
I certainly didn't want to let Mark Pickworth back to the table so soon. He wanted to make a dent in this frame, and he didn't.
Ten seconds. Extension called.
So we've got our experts in the background who are messaging around the permutations of what might be coming up, and we're being informed that Morgan only needs 1 frame from his remaining match to qualify as group winner.
So which player would he be unseating? Would it be Ross Fernie or would it be Rob Duncan?
It would be Rob Donkin. Well, Rob Donkin is the runner-up, so obviously the group winner will take the place in Wednesday's group final. It'll be whether
10 seconds.
anyone.
So
can,
really,
get enough points.
if you're Rob Duncan right now watching this and the way this is all unfolding, I mean, he wants Morgan to win the group because Morgan's the threat to be a higher runner-up than him.
Yeah, I think if Morgan wins, I've not got the table in front of me, but I think if Morgan wins, then Rob is safe.
10 seconds.
And I think there'd be any permutation where Rob could get through. I think that white has gone a bit too close to the red. He certainly can't get the one into the middle.
Foul.
Disaster.
1 free shot.
Yeah, it was a good
One
pot,
visit.
but again,
Right.
it's the touch that Mark alluded to when we had our quick chat just at the start of the 10 o'clock programme. It's just those touch shots that catch you out. So another chance for Darryl. He really has got to nail this chance. I mean, if he's in the club, he's getting these with his eyes closed. Absolutely no problem whatsoever. But we're not in the club. He's trying his best to make this as hard as possible, Jim.
Oh yeah, another fraction, that cue ball would have welded itself to that black and he'd have been out of commission. Well, he needed a second bite at the cherry.
Well, does that black go in the right? I don't think it goes in the right centre. So what? Can he stun up? Has he got enough angle to stun the white up to the right centre, up to left centre? Yeah, played it well.
Frame.
And the second bite of the cherry was all he needed. 1-1. Whitworth and Pickworth.
Yep, almost
hand
related.
in hand they're going. They're almost related. Wow, that was a solid performance, that one from Daryl. But like I said, the mistake from Mark opened the door for him. But he's got to be feeling like he's under a bit of pressure, no question.
Yep, it looks like he's been under pressure all night, and whether that's the occasion, whether that's
scores are tied, 1 frame all.
in fact his favourite,
Time running.
who knows? But he's certainly played. He's not played his fluent self. We've seen it in patches. We've seen glimpses of it. But he's just had a few too many unforced errors. He's put himself in this position.
Yeah, the real top players, they can find that gear when they need it. Daryl showed it to us in the second match of the evening against Gary. When he needed it, he found it. Well, he needs it now.
Yep, certainly a lot better player when he's attacking the balls. He was punished for playing one too many safety shots. I don't think he'll make that mistake again in a hurry.
Now, from where you are, does it look like that yellow will pass the red to the bottom right corner, or will it need to be moved?
Well, I think he needs to move it. And I'm just trying to look on the overhead. It looks very, very tight. On the normal shot, it looks like it goes, but on the overhead, it doesn't.
Just for the viewers that may be joining us, I'm joining this broadcast from across the Atlantic. I'm in Toronto right now, where I promise you it's a little chillier than it is over there.
Are you in double digits minus, Jim, at the moment?
No, not anymore. Not anymore. We were for about a week. I was teasing Mark. He was going golf and I was shoveling snow.
So this yellow must go. He must only have half a bag. He's attacking it from the right angle. A test of how he's feeling.
Yeah, those long straight ones are always a test of cueing. Passed with flying colors by Daryl there. And with it, a 2-1 lead.
Yeah, he's starting to get warmed up. His fans and those who've had a little punt on him, they'll be feeling a little bit better. But this is a match he's supposed to win. He's making a bit of a hard work of it at the moment, but he's 2-1 ahead. But according to the prices, he is meant to win this match. And then if he can pull that off, then it's a straight shootout. And Morgan Mckinnis.
Frame 4. Mark Pickwood
Well,
to break.
many times that final match of the evening is the one we all settle into our chairs and wait for. And this one's going to be no different. But first, Daryl's got a dispatch of Mark. And we've already said Mark's got that terrier mentality, doesn't he?
Oh, Mark won't be giving up, that's for sure. He'll be fighting away. He doesn't give anything away.
10 seconds.
The little I've seen Mark play, I get the feeling that when he gets his tail up and he's feeling good, he moves around the table a little quicker too.
Yeah, you can see from that kind of shot, he really does like to punch balls in. He's not one for rolling things in. He's he plays with a bit of power. Suits his cue action, short and punchy. He probably would never know if a table was straight or not.
You know, we talk a lot about, obviously, Morgan Mckinnis, who's sitting pretty right now, and looking at Daryl Whitworth, but Mark's still got a chance too in this group. If he wins this match, he stays on the table. He plays Gary Southern next. So, outside chance.
Yep, still an outside chance. That's, well, he may have to screw into the black here. I don't think he can play position. I think he's going to have to screw on the black and try and hit the right-hand side of the black as we look. He's missed it. And he's got a double, I think.
He's going to get the cue ball out of the way, avoid the double kiss.
This will be one for the highlight reel if he can pull this one off.
Ten seconds.
Yeah, he called it, Jim. It was always going to be close. It's going to be interesting to see how Darryl approaches this frame now, how many safety shots he's going to go for. He really only needs the one, and I don't think it really matters if Mark hits this or not. I think whatever happens, as long as he don't pot it. Of course, Darryl will be going for the finish.
Hail Mary.
We've only got a ball, just the wrong colour.
1 free shot, 1 visit. Time running.
Well, it was a good contact on the black. But you have to feel Daryl going to put the nails in the coffin here.
Well, how'd you like him? These are the sort of finishes you dream of, playing on live TV. Everything out in the open.
Yeah, but sometimes when it's this easy and the expectations are this high, well, the pressure is there too, because you and everyone watching is giving you this one. And you've still got to do it.
So far, so good. Just the finishing touches. Run the white up down the middle of the table. This black to guarantee a point, but he'll be hoping for a lot more.
Frame.
And he may well get it. 3-1 he leads. As you said, the draw assured. Now he can set his sights on securing the match win and the 2 points that go with it.
That frame will effectively end Mr. Pickwood's ambitions of making it to the next phase. You did say it was a long shot though, Jim.
Well, it was still mathematically there, so it was definitely worth mentioning because we hadn't talked much about Mark, had we?
Frame 5.
No.
Whitworth to break. Leading 3 frames to 1.
We can't afford to have him in the tournament anyway, Kevin. We need him too badly to be out there helping you and Gary and, you know, sitting in the comm box with us.
Void break.
Yeah, that's right. We can't let him have any more time off. He does such a great job in the background as well as on screen.
Now a void break, so our referee working a little overtime tonight. And that was actually a pretty good split. So we'll see if Daryl can
again. No penalty.
Give us a carbon copy of that. Just try and keep that black on the table.
Yeah, he goes more for control on his break than power. It's Daryl. See, he brings that white. Well, he was bringing the white straight back, and well, there you go. It just gets booted in the top right-hand corner by a pretty unfriendly yellow, I think it was. Oh no, it was a red.
Ten seconds.
Mark just developing the awkward red. So reds are going to be the color of choice for him here.
10 seconds.
And that one just on the right cushion, I guess, Kevin, would be the one that concerns him the most.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think he should be attacking that now. A nice angle off this one into the left centre.
10 seconds.
Well, he's pushed that yellow a little further away from the cushion to open that red up. That won't do him any harm.
Yeah, I think you can certainly see the one into the left corner. I wasn't certain whether the red that is nearest the cue ball, he could clip that into the right corner as well whilst he was there. Thinks he can bring the white back. But that's the touch shot that needed some exact precision. Didn't quite pull it off. I think the clip into the right corner was probably the shot.
10 seconds.
Yeah, not his best, and really he's just given Daryl a free go now at the clearance. Everything's there for him.
Well, this would be the type of win that would go a long ways to getting Darryl through. Still that last match of the evening that looms large. And what he is effectively doing here is telling us that that's the one that we're all going to be zeroing in on.
Looks pretty cool around the table, Darryl. He's underhit that one. Just a little bit of tension there in that arm. Just jabbed at that one a little bit, Jim.
Yeah, he's shown us on a few occasions the nerves have been exposed a little bit. A couple unforced errors from him. Looks to me, too, that he's struggled a bit with the speed of the table. Never really come to terms with it just yet.
Yeah, struck that one with authority, though. That was a nice shot.
What did we say about those unforced errors? That every now and then they creep into his game?
Yep, and hitting it thick like that, that's usually what happens when the pressure's on, when you're feeling it. That all stemmed from that positional shot. We just didn't quite get onto the yellow into the left centre.
Mark's going to help him remember it. And to pull one back and get to 3-2. Just this black.
Frame.
And 3-2 it is. Another bad miss from Darryl Whitworth. And just when you expected him to secure the frame, well, now he's got to battle it out. 3-2 he leads. But the tiny assassin not running away and hiding.
Yep, and it'll be the tiny assassin to break as well in this decider. All Darryl can do is hope he can get a shot. But, that shot he missed then, I mean, if he was feeling it, then he should have really minimised the risk, Jim. I think he could have just plopped it in, plain ball, and the black went in both centre pockets, I think.
Time running.
But chose the more adventurous shot and paid the price.
Well, this looks like it's going to be another one of those frames. Messy. A lot of clusters as they sit. So there's going to have to be a lot of development done to win this at one visit.
10 seconds.
So he's not. He could have played safe then and said to Darryl, "There you go, you have a go at them." But no, he's taking the bull by the horns.
Ten seconds.
No, he's at it again.
Yeah, he was playing that yellow off the other yellow into the bottom right corner. He caught it too thin and into the side it went.
It's landed absolutely perfectly to disturb that yellow. So all of a sudden, that bit of good fortune, and he's got a chance to win the frame and get a point. He can pop this yellow into the bottom left-hand corner.
Where's he going to go for that yellow near the right center? Possible double, I guess.
Yeah,
If he can get the cue ball back over to attack the yellow top left.
The cueing might be just a little bit awkward on this one.
Well, he's looking where the cue ball needs to be able to go with that double on that last yellow.
10 seconds.
But he's hampered queuing here over the black. That's just making life a little tougher. And now he's looking at the difficult yellow. This is on. Awkward queuing there too, Mark.
Yeah, I did like that shot, and it was a tough shot. Oh, can he get the double from that angle? It's close. I think he just can squeeze it. He should play it with a fair bit of pace.
Oh, that close. He almost pinched it enough and cut the near knuckle. So he actually overdid it.
Yeah, our camera angles can sometimes be a little bit deceiving as to the angles that they've got. That's not the best from Darryl. Is he going to attack, play the red off the yellow, and hopefully open the bag up? But these can go wrong.
Yeah, they certainly can.
And that's a disaster.
Well, you said it, Kevin. You said there were going to be a lot of draws tonight. And this is our second one. And it's been a long time since we've seen 2 draws in one night. But tonight, it was that tight, this group. 2 draws it is. And what a performance from Mark Pickworth. But our favorite looking anything but the favorite. Gentlemen, all to do.
Yeah, I think Mark Pickworth there, Jim, picks the punters' pockets because, you know, everyone was on, weren't they, tonight? And he's got a tie there. And now all the people who backed the favourite tonight are gone.
Yeah, it's going to be a tall order now for Darryl. He
can't win it, can he now? What has he got, Darryl? He's got 2 points.
He's got 2 points, and Morgan's got 4 points. I'm not sure of the frame difference because we've just run from the box. But, you know, Darryl, at times he's looked fantastic. So there we can see the table there, which hasn't been updated for the last match. So Darryl's on 2 points, so he's on an even frame difference. So if he can win, let's see, 4-1, I think he can probably sneak through as group winner.
Still win?
I think so, just looking at that. I think if he wins 4-0 or 4-1, he might get through on frame difference.
Right, as close as that?
Yeah, but, you know, the way he's playing, it's going to be such a tall order. You know, Morgan has looked the best player tonight, without a doubt.
Yeah, he is.
Darryl just hasn't brought his A game. Too many unforced errors, and you know, if he plays like that against Morgan, there's only one winner.
Only one winner
at the moment.
Well, the next match on, we've got he stays on. Mark stays on against Gary Southern, doesn't he? So, well, after that last match, I suppose you've got to make Mark favourite, haven't you? Well, it is against.
It's even. It could be another 3-all.
Another 3-all, yeah.
You know, obviously none of those 2 guys can qualify, but you know, they've got their professional pride to play for, and you know, they've got the family and friends and people watching. You know, they want to go out on a high, so they'll both be trying the socks off. That's for certain.
So we'll have that in 3 minutes. So if you fancy having a little play, don't forget online our betting partners. Find all the latest odds and the best odds, and we'll see you in 3 minutes.
Champions Cup Group F, Match 5, best of 6 frames. First frame, Mark Pickworth to break. Time running.
So the Tiny Assassin won the lag. Our 5th match here, Monday night, heating up. A lot of people sitting back and waiting for that final match of the night. Well, this one is the prelude to that one. Mark with the dry break. And a lot of draws were predicted by Kevin Barton. And, well, we've played 4 matches. We've seen 2 already. This one, not a lot to choose between them either. And Kevin, you should be back in the comm box by now. I guess everyone is kind of trying to do the calculations to figure out what can happen in that final match to give us our results.
Yep, so as it stands, Morgan is on 4 points. Daryl is on 2 points. The frame difference is +6 for Morgan and level for Daryl. So if Daryl can win 4-1, that would make his frame difference +3 and reduce Morgan's to 3. Now I need to get my check the rules. This is where we need our expert, Mr. Pickworth. I'm not sure
10 seconds.
the order of the criteria. I know head-to-head plays a part in it. One thing we do know, if Daryl Whitworth wins 4-0, he's through. A draw for Morgan, or 3-all draw for Morgan, or he can lose 4-2 and he's still fine. So Morgan is in the box seat. That's what we know at this stage with certainty.
So if you're Rob Duncan sitting back at home and watching this anxiously, I mean, he's hoping for Daryl Whitworth to come out and fly or Morgan to come out and fly. He doesn't want to see anything close.
Well, 3-all will do him. You know, I mean, Rob's on 4 points with +3 on the frame difference.
10 seconds.
So if Daryl could win 4-1, he would be the same. He'd have +3, and then we'd be going into the next criteria. But we'll get all that cleared up, so we're all ready and prepared for the last match, which is all going to boil down to after Gary and Mark have completed their evening's action.
Gary, another player, easy player to like. He really does have great fundamentals. Just a little bit more play, I think, a little bit more confidence, and you could see this guy turn a few heads.
Yeah, and he's going to gain a lot from this experience. It's going to stand him in good stead for the coming season. He's not going to play in much more pressure situations than this in a season. And a nice start there from Gary. So, I think he's going to be a far better player for this experience.
Well, as we watch this one, just been informed by, again, one of our colleagues, Dan Fairway, says he believes that Duncan is through. It's actually Ross Fernie, the one that's on the edge of his seat. And there's an update with our table scores for this particular group. And as you've said, Kevin, Morgan well and truly in the driver's seat here. He controls his own fate, no question.
Yeah, Ross Fernie's on 4 points and he's got a +2 frame difference. So yeah, Rob Donkin is safe. He still doesn't know which group he's going to be in yet though. But it's Ross who'll be hoping that his fellow Scot compatriot can do him a favour. What a night we've got to look forward to tomorrow, Jim.
10 seconds.
Unbelievable, the standard. It's just, I've been so impressed. A lot of these players I'd only ever seen in brief windows. And I mean, the standard of play, the caliber is it's just hard not to be impressed. If you're a Q Sport enthusiast at all, a fan at all, as I am, I always have been. You know, these guys, they're talented.
Well, he's trying to make sure we get a recover quicker than planned. Might have to deduct that off his wages, Jim.
I'll tell you what, these cloths are expensive. I'm a room owner. I can tell you firsthand. There goes Mark's profit margin. And what type of cloth is on this table, by the way, Kevin? Do you know?
Yeah. It's called Strachan 861 in electric blue, this colour.
10 seconds.
Obviously made by Strachan Simonis. We're a global brand, global leaders in cloth manufacturing, known throughout the world. And, you know, we've been long-time partners with them. And it was the IPA that brought blue cloth to our screens for Black Ball.
10 seconds.
Probably 4 or 5 years ago now, I think.
Great shot, that one from Gary.
He's playing a lot more relaxed, is Gary now.
Yeah, amazing. We call it in North America the loser's stroke. No more pressure. You can let that back arm go.
10 seconds.
Yeah, whilst it's not been the evening he wanted, Gary, I think he can be really proud of what he's done, how he's played, how he's conducted himself. Gained a lot of new admirers, the way he plays. And hopefully we'll see him again on our TV screens in the not too distant future. Great guy off the table as well.
Now, being a former pro, would that be something that he'd want to try and, get back into the professional ranks, or does he feel like he's been there, done that, got the T-shirt already?
No, it's definitely his ambition. Definitely he wants to get back. I think this year was his sort of first real year back, so it's just getting back into that match situation, putting yourself in those positions, remembering what it was like again. But yeah, I think it's definitely on his radar, and he'll be looking to get back into the pro ranks at the end of this season. I think with another season under his belt and he's a bit more match sharp, I think he's going to add another 10-20% to his game.
Ten seconds.
Is it going to reach? Yeah.
Just.
But yeah, we were just talking about tomorrow night, Jim. It's going to be an absolute blockbuster night of pool. Just the 3 world champions. And still potentially Ross Fernie. He's still in the box seat. And he is one of the best players in the world right now, Ross Fernie. 2 IPA titles to his CV this season.
10 seconds. You've already used it.
Well, Mark, a little closer to his work than he would have liked.
Yeah, the whites. Yeah, he's just lost the white a little bit there. He's got a double. No, it's just playing safe, leaving the white on this bottom cushion.
Timeout. Time running.
The problem with that shot is you just give the advantage straight away to your opponent. You've just tied your red up, and whilst you've got a good white, you're just giving your opponent free attempts.
Well, both of these players know they've got nothing to play for, really, so they do want to let it go out there, knock some balls in. Yeah, Mark may well have seized the initiative right back.
Yeah, didn't leave Gary much to go at there.
10 seconds.
Do you think he can slice this one in? No, just another containing shot. Getting to the point in the frame where he needs to really do something, because otherwise he's just going to leave Gary
10 seconds.
an easy chance.
Well, Gary's got a chance here. He can knock this yellow into the side and take the cue ball around the angles, and he can get back onto those yellows bottom right.
You can play this maybe off 4 cushions, right around the angles of the table. Here it comes. Can it get past the black? Judged the angle well, just needed a little bit more pace. I think he's okay. I think he can take the bottom one. No, he's taking the top. I think I prefer the bottom one, to be honest.
And I think that's why. Bottom one looked like he could drop in and land on the last yellow.
Yeah,
now a little bit more of that Gary Southern magic. We've seen it.
Yeah, what can he pull out here?
10
It's
seconds.
a long double. It's and again, the shot before, when he took the top yellow, that's just about understanding the cloth
Time
and
out.
how it reacts. Because he played it at such pace, it throws the white off a little bit more. So he probably wasn't expecting to hit that yellow, but because of the pace he played it, it just throws the white a little wider angle. And didn't get the position he was anticipating.
Not the easiest red.
Will he have a shot on the black when he pots it?
Wow, looked like it was in from our overhead camera. But he knew he wasn't leaving Gary anything, or at least anything easy.
Well, he couldn't get any closer. Hit both jaws. Now can Gary pull out the big shot when he needs it?
I think we'll give Mark this one.
Frame.
And 1-1 it is. Gary Southern, Mark Pickworth. Possibility of another draw on the cards? Time will tell.
Yeah, it's very difficult for both players. You know, they've come here tonight with expectations, and you know it hasn't happened for them. And you know they'll be a little bit disappointed, and they've got to play this last match, and they're going to be trying their best to win the match. But you know they're only human beings, and it is difficult sometimes to get yourself, in the right mental state for these matches, and because of the disappointment, of what's gone on before.
Scores are tied, 1 frame.
So sometimes these matches can be just be a little bit scrappy as a result.
Well, it's always better when things are more meaningful. They capture our attention, our imagination.
Bit more in that break from Mark then. It's one of his bigger breaks tonight.
Ten seconds.
And knowing Mark as well as you do, Kevin, you just know he'd like to get out of this evening with at least one match win under his belt. He's had one draw against the man they thought was going to be the favorite to progress out of this group, Daryl Whitworth, but he hasn't had a win.
Yeah, I think what Mark will be looking for is just some green shoots, something for him to build on. As we start the new season, obviously the World Championships coming up next week. But it's very difficult for him because of all the organising and work he does behind the scenes. It's just virtually impossible to get any real quality practice time and
10 seconds.
And try and build some consistency. And Gary's got the speed of the table now.
Well, that was tougher than it looked.
Yeah, it was good cueing because that white was really well in the jaws. But he has got an angle here that he can try and send the white into that cluster. He's going to have to put a little bit of pace on it.
10 seconds.
Just didn't get through the shot. Just quit a little bit on the shot.
Snooker.
But yeah, tomorrow night, Mark Farnsworth, Gareth Hibbert, Ben Davis,
Touching ball.
and one more player to go through from tomorrow night into the final, which will be coming on Sunday.
And Gareth Hibbert, your defending champion. So still the path through to the title goes right through him.
Yeah, I don't know how the bookmakers are going to split those three. All
10
three have
seconds.
been ultra impressive.
Extension called.
As you were saying earlier, Jim, any Q Sport fan, even any sports fan, you just don't need to be anywhere else tomorrow night when those three and potentially Ross Fernie as well are going to be going head to head for a place in the final. It's just live sport at its best, really.
10 seconds.
Good containing shot.
Foul. One free shot, one visit.
Yeah, I think Mark
Timeout.
just letting the ref know it had already been called, but looked like a little double hit there.
Time running.
I think Gary could have maybe done a little bit more with that shot. But he's overrun that one. Again, just a little lapse in concentration.
10 seconds.
Yeah, it just hasn't been. Yeah, it hasn't been one of those performances from Gary. I mean, that was a situation that he should have been elementary for him. But when you're struggling out there and you're trying to fight the environment, just your confidence level is flagging. You know, you have to have been out there. Sometimes it's the last place you want to be.
Yeah, it's a pretty lonely place when it's not going your way.
Time out. It's not frozen. Time running.
Mark with control. As it sits right now, got 6 yellows on the table.
10 seconds.
That's a nice reply from Gary. And Morgan and Darryl will be waiting in the background, having to wait patiently. They just want to get on with things. So this could well be a snooker, but I think there's plenty of room really to swerve the white round.
Ten seconds.
Oh, what a shot. Gonna have to come with one more though. That was a bit special, as he got one more up his sleeve.
Yeah, judged the side really well there. He's unlucky not to get a kiss on the yellow on the bottom cushion. Looks good.
Frame.
Looks real good. Gary Southern, 2 great shots. And with a 2-1 lead. Different style of play, isn't it, Kevin? Certainly than when you see the players like Mark Farnsworth and certainly that Rob Duncan and, you know, all these players that we're going to be seeing in the next few days, you know, world champions.
Time running.
You know, when they have their opportunities, they put pay to them. No, they don't give their opponents any chance to build any confidence or any initiative whatsoever.
Yeah, they have that ruthless streak. And that's what puts them at the top of the pile. Separates the good from the great. But ultimately, you know, it's about confidence, belief, consistency.
10 seconds.
No end of skill, of course, but you know, all these guys are great players in their own rights. They can all break, they can all clear, but who really believes they can win?
Yeah, and it's about doing it when it matters. Those players that have proven themselves time and time again under pressure, well, all the other players know that too. And they don't forget.
Well, Cued right across that one. So, can Mark Pickworth salvage something from this match?
10 seconds.
Not missing shots like that, he can't. He took the long route back to the chair.
Yeah, it's a lot more strides for him than most people.
Well, he's used to running from the studio to the comm box, back to the studio, and forgot where he was.
Yeah, I think he wanted to go sit next to Gary. A decent chance here for Gary just to guarantee himself another point.
Ten seconds.
Yeah, Gary would probably like to play that match over against Morgan, the 4-0 defeat at the hands of the young Scot. Well, that was the one that pretty well defined his night.
Yeah, there's not much coming back from a 4-0 in this format. Looks to have a nice angle, play that positional shot well. Looks to have a nice angle, screw the white down to this bottom. Well, if the red doesn't go past the black, he can just screw the white down into this bottom right hand corner. For the red into the left centre, acres of space to put the white. It obviously goes past. So just one straight, nice, cued shot.
Well struck.
Frame.
And once again, Gary Southern assures himself of at least one. 3-1, he leads Mark Pickworth.
Yeah, just not quite happened for Mark tonight. But, Gary will be hoping he can just finish the job now, get a win under his belt, under the TV cameras. That'll make his journey home tomorrow just that little bit sweeter.
Frame 5. Mark Pickworth to break. Trailing 3 frames to 1. Time running.
Now, ball down. So outside chance, if he can hold his serve here and get to 3-2, look for a chance in the next frame.
Yeah, not too bad a break. Not too bad. I don't think the red that's next to that yellow, just sort of to the right centre, I don't think that goes in the centre pocket. May have half a bag if we can get behind it. Everything else has got a pocket. And just to remind you, the second semi-final will be on Wednesday.
10 seconds.
That'll feature another world champion, Craig Marsh. A rejuvenated Drew Hughes, who was impressive. And the winner of tonight's group, which at the moment looks like the man from Scotland who made the journey here at the last minute. He certainly made the journey worthwhile.
10 seconds.
Can he finish the job? against Daryl Whitworth.
Oh, I think Mark thought that one was going to drop. He was reaching over and heading down table, but not to be.
Total snooker.
So not easy. You can come off a couple of cushions either way.
10 seconds. Foul. 1 free shot, 1 visit, time running.
Now yellow's nicely placed, and he's just put the black over the pocket, so no need to worry about it. And every chance for Gary to get his first match win.
Yep, so this should be the final blows in this match, and to bring both Gary and Mark's Champions Cup campaign to an end. We're going to be ready to go pretty quickly afterwards for the main event, the final helping of Champions Cup action tonight.
Well, you know that those guys they'll have been putting their time in on the practice table, Kevin, getting ready, prepped, just mentally building for the final match that will be the decisive one to determine this group. But Gary Southern, well, he's not going home empty-handed. He secures that one win, that elusive win, a 4-1 win over Mark Pickwood. And next up, go get your drink, get comfortable. It's going to be the young Scot, Morgan Mckinnis. And it's going to be the man that everyone thought was going to be winning the group, Daryl Whitworth. Well, he's got a big hurdle to get over. What do you think, Gary? All to play for.
Got the finale coming up, and what a burster this is going to be, isn't it, Jim? The last match, it really is going to be good, isn't it, Kev?
Yeah, it's the two best players on the night. Morgan Mckinnis, he's in prime position. He only needs a couple of frames to go through. Daryl Whitworth needs to produce the performance of the night. He needs to win 4-0 to guarantee a place in the next round.
Sure, I can't wait. Can you?
Looking forward to it. Can't wait. Yeah, let's get it on.
Yeah, let's get it on. And Kevin said let's get it on. So let's get the last match on. It's all about who wins the group this evening. Morgan? I don't know.
Thank you, gents. When you're ready, please lag for break.
Well, we get to see the all-important lag. Sometimes this can be very decisive. Who will break if it goes down to the wire?
Daryl Whitworth wins the lag.
And Daryl Whitworth wins the lag. So I hope you're ready. Buckle up. This is going to be a roller coaster ride of emotion. Morgan Mckinnis, Daryl Whitworth. Well, this is your time to shine. Will it be the young Scot or the seasoned professional, Daryl Whitworth? Well, he's ranked number 35 on the IPA Tour. They call him Dazza.
Champions Cup, final match, Group
Is
F.
he going to dazzle us with a performance here?
First frame, Daryl Whitworth to break. Time running.
What do you think the mindset's going to be of both these players, Jim? as they approach this match?
Well, I'm assuming they're both going to know exactly what needs to be done. If Daryl knows he's got to come out and basically whitewash Morgan, then he better let all guns go. Just fire from the hip. Whereas Morgan, I can see him taking a much more reserved approach. Buy some time, try and settle down.
Foul.
And that maybe very quickly, maybe the chance that Morgan wanted.
Time running.
Like we've said, he only needs one frame. Is he going to come right away?
Well, yeah, the story of Daryl Whitworth's night, I'm afraid. Just the unforced error count. I mean, I don't know what the numbers will be, but it must be approaching double figures. And you just can't expect to win tournaments with numbers like that.
Everything there for him now.
Ten seconds.
And as we've seen and come to expect, no rush. Except with that last cueing action. The clock was winding down. He had to release it.
Yeah, we have to remember there's going to be a lot of pressure, particularly on these first couple of frames. I mean, if Morgan can win the first, then he is just about there. But if Daryl could, if he does get back to the table, he could win the first or the second frame. We could certainly see the nerves jangling after that. But we've got to say Morgan he's looked the best player all night, and there's no reason to think that he's just not going to continue that.
Well, again, he's got to dial long distance here with this red. He doesn't leave himself a lot of time. Well, you got to be feeling pretty good. If you're sitting at home watching Morgan Mckinnis right now, from all our calculations, this black should see him through.
Frame.
And there it goes. Morgan secures it in the very first frame. 1-0 over Daryl Whitworth. I believe the group is still up for grabs, but that sees him through. And again, assuming our calculations are correct,
All got the abacuses out, calculators, fingers, thumbs.
Frame 2.
But at the moment, Gary Southern sitting second in the table. Can't qualify, but I think if you'd have offered him that at the start of the evening, he would have gladly bitten your hand off.
Forward break.
wow. How does the cue ball find oh, well, he's so lucky. Cue ball in, but so too is the black. Now, how's your luck, Morgan?
Well, that's when you know it's your night.
Yeah, he offered his hand to apologize. He knew. That was definitely a stroke of good fortune. Well, he was one of the players, along with Daryl, one of the players that they said you had to watch. Prophetic words.
Morgan Mckinnis to break again. No penalty.
One more frame for Morgan
running.
will secure the group win. For Daryl, it's simple. He needs to win the next 4.
Well, dry break. So Daryl knows he's going to have to play lights out, and he's going to need a little bit of good luck. And Daryl has always looked at his best when he's attacked, and then when he's sped up around the table, when he's thought a little too long, mistakes have crept in.
Yeah, as we've said before, we've seen glimpses of what Daryl's capable of, and it's just been those unexpected errors that have really just spoiled his chances. But he's not out yet. We've got to remember that, Jim. He's not out yet. We've seen stranger things happen in this game.
I mean, he hasn't won a match yet. He's played 2 and drawn 2 against Gary and against Mark. But if he ever needed a big win and a decisive win, this is the time. And again, when he wastes little time, that's when he's at his best.
Frame.
Black down, 1-1 confirmed. So the man they call Daza still in with a chance, but he can't afford another frame loss.
Yeah, it's the old adage, Jim, 1 frame at a time. He's got that one on the board. It's Daryl to break. What he wouldn't give for a break and dish. Keep himself in the hunt.
Frame 3. Daryl Whitworth to break. Scores are tied, 1 frame all. Time running.
Every shot now under the magnifying glass.
Well, he's going to be happy with that break. Good split. Plenty of movement. Ball's in the open. It's what you dream of.
Extension call.
Just wants to take a bit of time, I think, Kevin, and decide on the path, choice of colors, and then how he sees that cue ball weaving its way around the table.
Yep, only choice of reds. But out of position already. Not quite sure what he was playing for there. I think he was trying to check the white back, but
10 seconds.
get enough into the cue ball.
Time out. Touching ball. Time running.
Well, just containment then, or his best attempt at it. But what a story it would be for young Morgan. Given very little notice, had to pack, get his cue ready, hop on the train,
10 seconds.
and head south.
He's going to be short. Oh, it was touching ball. Yeah. It's been a long night.
Yeah, it's going to be a longer night yet, Kevin, because there's a lot of pool to be played in this match.
Yeah, this frame is critical to both players. They both know the importance
10 seconds.
of it. For Morgan, it secures his victory in the group. For Daryl, it keeps him in the hunt. That was a great pot from Morgan. He was running out of time. He was down to about 2 seconds. First time we've probably seen him rushed all night, Jim.
10 seconds.
He is very measured. Oh, that was a tough shot, especially from cueing right in the jaws of the pocket.
I liked how he really attacked it, though. He didn't just try and drop it in dead weight. He played the right shot, even though it was ultra difficult.
Chance again. We'll see if Daryl can put pay to this one. Seems like his Achilles heel is when the winning line has become readily available. And it hasn't necessarily been positional play that's hurt him. Just those misses that come when he's least expected it, or we've least expected it.
He certainly seems to be hitting the balls again with that authority that we've seen glimpses of. If he can complete this clearance, this is going to start to make things very interesting indeed.
That looks like a wayward effort on the white. Intended cannoning that yellow and missed it. Very thin cut on this red, the only shot available. He won't know where the cue ball's going.
Could that be the final nail in Dazza Whitworth's coffin to progress to the next round? He needs to pull out something spectacular. It was a good attempt. But I suspect Morgan is now going to just give him a little bit more pain.
Time out. Total snooker. Time running.
The pain isn't going to last much longer. One more frame win, Kevin, and I think the victory will be assured, the group victory for Morgan.
Yep, just steadying himself, ready for the final assault.
I'm not exactly sure what has to happen or what Morgan has to do to get his countryman Ross Fernie in. Possibly the second frame win might do it. Not really sure. But guaranteed that if he won 3 frames, I think Ross Fernie would be in.
Yeah, that's correct, Jim.
Get down to this stage in the competition, and it really does get fascinating. All the different permutations. It's amazing that these guys can keep their focus.
So all he wants to focus on here is just getting this white ball as close to the left-hand cushion as possible to leave the black straight. So even if he did miss it, the white would be still on that left-hand side cushion, and he wouldn't leave Daryl anything easy on the red. So it's all about
10 seconds.
just controlling that cue ball. It doesn't matter if he's at distance, he just wants to be as close to that cushion as possible. And that is pretty good.
And taking lots of time. Just get the feeling that he knows. This black wins him the group. And the trip down, more than worth it.
Frame.
And down it goes. Group secured. And Morgan Mckinnis, your time to shine has come. 2-1, he leads Daryl Whitworth. But now, it's nothing more than going through the formalities because everything's been decided now.
Yeah, just about there now for Morgan. He's secured his place. I hope he's brought some spare clothes with him because he will be on our screens again on Wednesday night. He joins the likes of Craig Marsh, Drew Hughes,
Break, leading 2 frames to 1.
who will be looking for a place in the grand final, in the event final. With a chance to get to the grand final and the £10,000 jackpot.
Now see if he can go out in style.
10 seconds. Extension called.
Good opening red, good long red.
Yeah, he's going to be feeling so good now. After the day he's had in at the last minute. And to come through, that's impressive stuff.
10 seconds.
Well, if you're going to make the trip, Kevin, I guess you might as well make it worthwhile.
Yep, it certainly has been worthwhile for him.
10 seconds.
He's turning on the style now.
Yeah, a little bit of that Mckinnis magic.
Ten seconds. Ten seconds.
Not sure he's
Draw
got the right
back.
angle to run the white through to take the black into the right middle. So probably just stun back 8 inches. Exactly there.
Right where he was holding the cue, Kevin. He is without a doubt been the best player in the group. No questions. And then remember the early days, his first match trailed Mark Pickworth 2-0. That's when we saw this young man come good. Oh, well, I did it to you, Morgan. You're not the only one I've done that to. So you're in a long, lengthy group. The commentator's curse.
Well, it wouldn't be Champions Cup drama without a few twists and turns.
Somehow I don't think he's that bothered.
Daryl's just lost the white a little bit there. Yeah, I think the tank's empty now for Daryl. I think it's
Frame.
it's been a bit of a struggle for him tonight.
Yeah, he's not been at his best, but Morgan Mckinnis, he's the one that's going to be going to bed. The pillow will be a lot softer tonight for him. 3-1. And he will have yet to taste defeat, no matter what happens from here on in. It's been a great performance. The young man from Scotland is going to be joining a few more top players. So if he's saved his best, he'll probably need it. He goes into a group with Craig Marsh and Andrew Hughes. And I believe Rob Duncan might be in that group. I don't want to say for sure, but I believe he is.
Running.
Yep, so it's the groups are as they are. Just the addition of Morgan Mckinnis. We'll see him back on Wednesday with Rob Donkin and Morgan's countryman Ross Fernie. We'll see him tomorrow in what can only be described as the biggest group of death I think I've ever seen.
Ten seconds.
Wiped its feet on the way in.
Feels like the victory parade now from Morgan.
Yeah, it's definitely the victory march. Just a little bit of check side on the cue ball to stay below the black. We'll look to see if the red is available to that right center. And I wonder if he'll be getting a call from mom and dad tonight congratulating him. They'll be able to see their son play a little bit more pool in this event yet. But he's done the family name proud.
frame.
And has he ever? 3 wins. It's a 4-1 win over Daryl Whitworth and young Morgan Mckinnis. Well, you're through. The trip down from Scotland, more than worthwhile. It's been a terrific performance. And what a coming out party this is for this young man. The best, well, now he has sent a message to the rest of the players. He is fit for the fight. And guys, you don't want to look past this man any longer.
No, thanks, Jim. Fantastic performance tonight in the commentary box, you and Kevin. And I think them words you just said there, I think his mum and dad would be on the phone tonight, weren't they? Morgan's mum and dad, and saying, well done, boy, because, you know, he never knew. This morning he had no idea he was going to play in this tournament, and he's come here and he's absolutely took him apart, hasn't he? Smashed it, hasn't he?
Yeah, he'll be very proud, and
very proud parents.
He came, he saw, and he conquered. You know, he as we say, he got the call at 12 o'clock. He's on the train an hour later, and he's down here and he's done the business, and he's been by far the better player tonight. Yeah. You know, Daryl Whitworth, I think he'll be really disappointed with his performance. Just never really got going, and just too many enforced errors just stopped any momentum that he was gathering. So yeah, well played, Morgan. We'll see him Wednesday. Yeah,
and also Jim said, you know, it's a Paul family. Well, you would know, Kevin, you know, it's Morgan's family, but you know how proud they must be this evening to see their boy come down and do that. Absolutely fantastic. A joy of being a father, isn't it?
Yeah. They'll be very proud, and but you know, for Morgan, the journey doesn't stop here. You know, he'll want to keep it going, and on Wednesday, you know, he needs to get the top 2 in that group, and he'll be in the final.
And the funny thing is, as I come into the studio this evening, I've never met Morgan in my life, never knew what he looked like, you know. And he said hello, and like introduced himself, and what a lovely boy as well, and what he's come out there, and you know, he's done Liam Dunster proud as well, because he's like practices with Liam as well, doesn't he? But anyway, that's all about tonight. We've got to talk 1 minute you got, Kev, and tell us what we've got tomorrow.
Well, we've got a steady group tomorrow. Just the 3 world champions and Ross Fernie, he'll be delighted with Morgan's performance to stop him dropping out. Mark Farnsworth, Gareth Hibbert, Ben Davis, Ross Fernie. Tomorrow night, you don't need to be anywhere else. Every match is just going to be a blockbuster. How are you going to call it? I've no idea. We'll leave that to pickers tomorrow night. We'll get the expert back. But you know, if you're a fan of pool, fan of sport, you know, there's only one place to be tomorrow.
Well, I can't better that. Kevin's ended the show this evening with them words. As normal, thank you to our production team. Thanks to our ref, Ben Taylor, for Ansi. We've already said Jim White in Canada and you, Kev. Great performance tonight. And the pool viewers back home, you know, you make our show. And tomorrow night, Kevin's told you already, I'm going to go home, have a nice hot chocolate, but I will be back nice and early tomorrow. I don't want to miss it. We don't even know who's going to be favourite, do we, Kev? Good night from me and good night from Kevin.